Alright, so this is the second video I've made for Project Life-Size for today, because I thought we were doing a different topic than we were doing. But anyway, topic of the day is apparently on domestic violence. And this topic is brought up probably because of, everyone knows what happened with Chris Brown and Rihanna. We all saw it in the news. And all of a sudden, everybody's doing shows on it. Tyra's doing a show, and Oprah's doing a show, and then BET's talking about it. Did any of you watch Tyra butt in like she was Oprah? I was getting so fucking annoyed with Tyra. I was like, lock it up, Tyra, lock it up. This is something that I kind of have some experience with. I've seen friends go through it and such. And I know Megan's story was really serious, and I can kind of relate to that. When you feel afraid for your friends, most girls are raised to say, you know, hey, don't ever let a boy beat on you. Don't ever let a boy call you out your name. Don't ever let a boy do all these other things. But when you're actually in a relationship, it kind of changes. And Megan brought up a good point. I mean, it does happen to guys as well, but let's just be honest. We all know who it happens to more. We all know where it's a little more serious. And, I mean, not to say that men who are beat on by their girlfriends or wives is not a serious issue. It really is. But, I mean, obviously domestic violence kind of goes with the girl aspect of it, and that's what I'm familiar with, so that's what I'm going to talk about. So, before school, I thought about what I would do if I ever saw someone get hurt. And I remember, back in high school, one of my friends got into a fist fight with her boyfriend in the middle of school. He called her fat after, I don't know, 2 years of dating. And he was, apparently for those 2 years, able to hook up with her and have sex with her and all these other things. And then he suddenly had a problem with her figure. Called her fat, and then I think she called him an asshole and a liar, and he persisted to punch her in the face, making her nose bleed, and then he dragged her down the hallway by her hair and continued to punch her, and this was in the middle of school. Sort of the same thing as Chris Brown. When he came out of that, nothing happened to him. She was the one who got in trouble. It's sort of like what you see in Chris Brown and Rihanna's relationship. Everyone is yelling at Rihanna of, why are you staying with him? Well, no one is yelling at Chris Brown, really. I hope he does go to jail. I really do. I hope that, you know, something serious happens to him. And apparently his music is not taking a toll. It's not taking a toll on his music sales or anything. We all, you know, that's some bullshit. When you see your friends go through it, it really takes it to a new level. Domestic violence by no means should be allowable. A man should never have an excuse to put his hands on a girl. I remember in their case that Chris Brown was claiming it was self-defense. Interesting. I don't know how many of you guys saw that photo, but that's not self-defense. Maybe self-defense is pushing her back against the car and being like, get off me, but you don't have to consistently beat her up and cut her lip up and bite her and shit. That's not self-defense. On top of that, we have another thing. Boys should never hit girls, but that doesn't give girls the right to go ahead and treat boys like shit. If you want to beat on your boyfriend, I don't really think that, you know, you should be complaining if he hits you back. I don't know what the Rihanna situation was, but I'm just saying there's a level of respect that you have to have in a relationship if you don't want to go through this shit. If you don't want to go through the fights and the bickering and the fighting, and sometimes it gets physical. These people are real people. And I remember in the beginning, I was like, why the hell would Chris Brown put his hands on Rihanna's face? Why would he ever do that? That's the moneymaker. They're stars. They're role models. And they might be role models. But what I was neglecting to remember is that they're also actual people who make mistakes. And they're about my age. Chris Brown, I think, is 18, and Rihanna's at 21. I think she just turned 21. So, you know, people are going to make mistakes, and unfortunately for them, it was in the public eye, but it just really brought to light a lot of the issues with domestic violence. A lot of men need to be taught that it's not okay to hit their girlfriends. A lot of girlfriends need to be taught that it's not okay to push their boyfriends to the edge and expect them not to do anything about it. Don't put yourself in those situations if you don't want to get hurt. Recently on my floor, we also had a situation, 2 girls on my floor with men who have been abusive. One man choked her when they were arguing, and in another, we almost called the police on because he was slapping her around and pushing her around their room when they were arguing. And the thing is that it's really a volatile cycle. It's a really bad cycle that you get into because these girls are not leaving their boyfriends. No matter what your best friend says, no matter what people who care about you say, they're not going to leave their boyfriends. And that presents another issue of the domestic violence thing. Once you get in there, it's really hard to get out. It's hard to get out alive, and it's hard to get out safe. It's hard to get out without bruises on your face and your body. And so this is a good topic, and everyone's pretty much thinking about this right now with all the things going on in the news for Chris Brown and Rihanna. And what I hope for that couple is this. A lot of people want them to work it out. I just really want Rihanna to get out before it's too late. I want her to get out. Apparently this isn't the first time he's done it to her. I'm not surprised, but I just hope that she gets out, and I hope Chris Brown gets help, because it sounded like a lot of it came from his raising as a child. So, that's the topic of this week. Sorry for this video that I had to put together at the last minute. I wasn't aware this was the topic. So, I'll see you guys next Tuesday.